Hi guys, hi, welcome back to Wanjira's channel. My name is Sly Wanjira if you're new here, and welcome to my channel. On this channel I talk about life in general, but with a special focus on mental and emotional wellness and general wellness, basically motherhood and my life in I bring you guys along in my journey to self-development and just self-discovery in general. So for today's video, I want to talk about motherhood, because a month ago my daughter turned 5, and I feel like 5 years hata mtu mwenye ameenda university 5 years akona engineering degree, okay? So I feel like I have learned a few things in the 5 years I've been a mom, and I wanted to share just 5 things I have learned, or 5 lessons really, or like regrets, not really regrets, just 5 things I have learned, or 5 things I'd love to share that I have learned in my experience as a mom, right? And I'll get right into it. So for the first point, and this video, my main target, I'm targeting either you're about to be a mom, you're pregnant, you're expecting a baby, you're in the first year of parenting, the second year, like you're a new mom, you're a first time mom, below 5 years. Those are my targets. And also, just if you're curious, you just want to know, you're just curious what I have learned, right? So for the first point, I have my notes here as usual. I'm going to be reading my notes because I have a bad memory and I like to write down things when I think of them. So I wrote down whatever I needed to write down, and I need to keep checking in case I forget something, okay? So yeah, the first thing you need to know, this one applies even to people who are not yet moms and they want to be moms, or they don't want to be moms. Number 1, ukikosa kujipanga. I don't know if I have international audience on this channel. I don't know if you're there. I'm going to translate in a second. But ukikosa kujipanga, utapangwa na dunia, utapangwa na maisha itakupanga, okay? If there's something I learned early, like when I found out I was pregnant, and later, like after I had gotten my child, is that I swear to God, ukikosa kujipanga. And what I mean by this is, like, for example, me, I knew I wanted to have a child. I knew I wanted to have a daughter at some point in my life. And it was something that was exciting to me, like in my mind, it was exciting. But I didn't really pang up my life to accommodate that transition. And I feel like the main reason I stayed down when I became a mom is because I felt guilty, because I felt like I had gotten my child at the wrong time. I felt like I was not equipped emotionally, financially, mentally, and physically to handle a child at that point in my life. And I feel like that thing took a toll on me. And I still believe that it was not the best time. I mean, right now I feel like, things have changed, things have worked out, obviously. But if you're there and you want to have a child in your future and you don't want to have that child now, you're like messing around, because I feel like when you're younger, I got pregnant when I was 24. When you're younger, you think you're so in control. You think you know everything. You think you're the one who is special. Like, people will suffer outside there, but you'll be, you're the special one. Aki, please take your life into your own hands. Please take your contraception into your own hands. Please take your life, like your future, into your own hands. Don't let anybody come and tell you you're ready to have a child. I'm ready to give you a child. Like, we can do this. You can settle with me now. Don't let external factors or external voices alter your decision or alter your actions in regards to what you want in your future. I hope that I know I'm making sense, but I'm just saying I really need to emphasize on that point, because when you're younger, you're there, you're just thinking, whatever, what is it called? Pull out style, whatever, safe days. I think I got pregnant when I was like on my safe days, but I had an irregular period, so I was really ignorant of the fact that if your period is irregular, you're most likely to get pregnant even when you think you're safe. So kindly, if you're there and you don't know your cycle, you don't have an app to track your cycle, you don't have a contraception and you're sexually active, you have a boyfriend who is altering your decisions, like he's the one who will carry that pregnancy, or like he's the one who will, let me tell you, if you're there and you're a chick, let me tell you, and you're the one who will get pregnant, it doesn't matter what kind of job your man has. I mean, it matters because you'll have some cushioning if you're lucky. But most times, I feel like we really put a lot of faith in external people, and especially the baby daddies. And you think that they're going to sort you out. You think that you're going to be sorted. You think that they know, like they have your best interests. And stuff. Many do for real. But if you want to be in control of your situation, and I'm not saying you can be fully in control, but just be in control. Be in control of your womb. Be in control of the timings. Try and like just usijiachilie like zile za someone is deciding for you, or it might happen and you're not ready and you're just there. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like there's something that can be done to counter that. Like I know that most times pregnancies are unplanned, but you can plan. You can plan around it. You can plan around it. You can set your timelines. You can say by next year, by 2 years. Don't let someone tell you, I want you to get pregnant now, or I feel like this is the best time. You as a woman, okay, your body clock is yours, your uterus is yours, your life will change. The minute you get that, sorry, the minute you get that positive result of your pregnancy, your life will change, and you will quickly realize that it is your burden to bear. It is you who is going to struggle physically. It is you who is going to carry that child. It is you who is going to have to think about your career. It is you who will take a break from your career. It is you who will walk around with a completely changed body for the rest of your life. So take control of that side of your life. Kindly. Even if you have a loving boyfriend, you've been together for 5 years, that is your job, that is your role. Please, I hope. Me, that's a lesson I've learned. If I'm going to get pregnant again, and I hope I will, I want to be more in control of that. I want to be like, I want to get pregnant now, and then I get pregnant, and then it happens. I mean, God willing, if I don't have fertility issues by then. But yeah, just be more in control of that. Number 2 now is like, you've gotten pregnant. Ama, you have a baby now. You have a new baby. Ama, you have like this whole new experience that you're experiencing. Because I feel like the 4th trimester, after baby has come, that is when now everything dawns on you. That is when now shit gets real. Okay? Shit gets real. And it's very common for you to feel like your life is over. Like you're trapped. Like you're done. Like this is it. I am stuck in this house. I am stuck with this child. I am stuck with this man. I am stuck. I am trapped. I'm here to tell you that you're not. You're not trapped. You're not stuck. I know it feels like that, and it will feel like that for a minute, but you're not. Even if you're 2 years in and you still feel trapped and you feel like you can't move, you feel like you can't improve, you can't progress outside of motherhood and all that, I'm here to tell you that it is not true. Aki, your life has just begun. If anything, I feel like later on when the blues have issued and the baby now you're enjoying motherhood, you get a new zeal for life. You just feel like you want to live for another 70 years. So I know that those first few months, those first few years could be difficult, and you could feel trapped and you could feel like you have no control. You've lost control of your life and your future. But I'm here to tell you that you haven't. Aki. You haven't. You can go back to work. You can go back to your life. You can change your career. You can get 3 more kids. You can get 3 more husbands. You can go to another country and relocate 3 more times. You can do, like, I'm promising you, your life is not over because you've gotten your child, because you've gotten pregnant, because you're in a situation you didn't expect to be in, right? And I feel like that should be very encouraging to anybody experiencing something like this, because the feelings are strong. The feelings are strong, and I'd like you to keep it at the back of your mind that I know that, I mean, yes, you'll feel trapped. Yes, you'll be crying every day and whatever feeling those things you're feeling. And I'm talking about specifically people who are not in an ideal situation. Things will be okay. You will regain your peace of mind. You will regain your confidence. You will regain your self-esteem. There's another level of confidence that you're going to attain. Self-respect. You're just going to look at yourself in a whole different light. And in that way, you're going to seek better things for yourself. You're going to want more for yourself. You're going to want more for your child, and your life will just be beginning. So I hope you feel encouraged. That is very, very important, because I feel like I really wallowed and I really felt like my life was over, but really it was just beginning. Even now, I just feel like, I just began. I'm just like, I just started living, and yeah, it's 5 years in. I'm still young. I'm still like, I have energy. I can go back to school. I want to go back to school. I can switch up careers. I can follow my dreams. I can travel. Your life is not over. Okay, baby. Yes. Number 3. Now we're in motherhood. Now we are parenting. Okay, intention. You have to be intentional. You have to be intentional with your day-to-day parenting, motherhood, whatever journey you're on, because action without intention is useless. Action without intention as you are mothering is useless. Intention without action is also useless. Like, if you're just like, I'm intentional, I want to be intentional, I am going to do this and this, but you're not doing it, it's also useless. It's so important to operate day to day with your child with intention. And what I mean, be intentional and keeping in mind yourself and your child. For example, if like me, I think with breastfeeding, I wanted to breastfeed, and I want to breastfeed even my next child. But with my next one, I cannot breastfeed for as long as I did. I breastfed for 1.5 years the last time, and I feel like it drained me. It got me to a point where I hated breastfeeding. I hated the experience. Like, my child would just tug on my boobs, and I would be like, oh, let me alone. I hated it. So with my next one, I'm going to be very intentional about the timings of breastfeeding. I'm going to do like probably 6 months to 1 year, and I'm going to pump early. I'm going to pump early so that my child cannot have a chance to refuse the bottle. My child refused the bottle, and that thing made me suffer. I could not pump because she didn't want the bottle. I could not give her formula because she didn't want the bottle. And it's because I introduced the bottle a lot later than I should have if I wanted her to even want the bottle, right? But I mean, there are kids who generally will refuse, and it won't be your fault. I'm just saying, be intentional with what you're doing. Don't just do things. You can, I mean, you're freelancing. The first few months, you're just like on autopilot. But kindly be intentional with what you're doing. Okay, now, another thing. Let me give a better example. Forget breastfeeding. Sleep training. If you want to be a slave of your child, completely ignore the whole sleep training thing, like myself. I did not sleep train my child. I did not introduce my child to the baby cot early. I was just hanging on to, I want to sleep with my baby, I want to sleep with my baby, I want to sleep with my baby. I was not intentional about giving myself the independence, and also giving her that independence as well, and the ability to self-soothe, and the ability to get themselves to sleep early, or whenever they're sleepy, because most times I'd find, even when they're 2 years and above, like, bado ananisumbua kulala, bado ni stress, like through the night, she won't sleep through the night and all that. So I'm here to tell you, you have to be intentional. You have to decide, I want this child, I want to do sleep training from the time my child is 3 weeks. You can start sleep training even when your child is like 2 weeks old, mpaka uko like 8 weeks, so that by the time she's like 6 months, you can go back to work and just start your life. You can be independent again, and you can feel like yourself again, to reduce the chances of you getting depressed and you just wallowing and sinking deeper and deeper into these blues that we experience when we become moms. So be very intentional and know what you need, and like, don't be too observant or too keen on listening to what people are saying. You just know what is important to you. If what is important to you is being stuck to the hip of your child for 2 years, well and good, to each their own. But if you want to go back to yourself, go back to life, and have your child be independent and minimize the chances of them experiencing separation anxiety later on, kindly be intentional with what you're doing the first few months, and that will really go a long way in ensuring that your child is happy and you're happy. Because if you're not happy, your child will not be happy. So please be intentional. Feeding, sleeping, taking walks, going as in basking, talking to your child, singing to your child, picking flowers. I feel like there are things you will do even without even realizing, and they really stick. They really stick. Because now, for example, I used to straw my child uko kwa hood when she was a baby, and I'd always pick flowers. I'd always pick flowers for her because I wanted her to know that I love her. And I know saying I love you is one thing, but it's something to show your child you love them every day, and to be intentional about it, and to do a thing that will signify that thing. And let me tell you right now, my child will always pick a flower and come and tell mommy, "Mommy, here's a flower. I love you. I love you." She knows flowers are symbolic of love, and I feel like that thing is, I mean, it's sweet if you want to raise an intentional child. And even with communication, oh my God, this is another perfect example. How you communicate with your child from the get-go, from the time she cannot even comprehend what they're saying. Just start telling them things, start building communication, start talking to them nicely, start doing a, give and take. You know how kids, they get to a certain point, karibu 1 year, they're just shouting and screaming and just expressing themselves in weird like cues. So you let them, you just let them, and then you're listening, and then you talk back, and then so that they can learn communication skills, and so that they can improve on their emotional intelligence. And I'm telling you, you can build your child's emotional intelligence from as early as 1 year. Because by the time your child is 5 years old, huyo mtoto ni mtoto, utaona clearly the way they are communicating is the way they are communicated to. So please be intentional. Usitukane mtoto, usichape mtoto akiwa anafanya vitu za utoto. Tuseme mtoto wako anashika uchafu ama anatembea kwa maji ama vitu kama hizo. I feel like with the way we've been raised, tulikuwa tunachapwa juu ya vitu ndogo. But when you're with your child, please just be intentional. Don't just act without intention. Don't just hit your child. Don't just say something down to your child that you're stupid. When mjinga, unafanya nini? Uko na utoto, uko na nini? Just be intentional with your speech and how you treat your child from as early as possible, so that as they grow up, their mind is growing as it should be. And I have dwelled on that point, and I'm done. Okay, I hope my point is home. The fourth point, and this is important. Mtoto ni wa jamii. Mtoto ni wa jamii. And I know, when you're a first-time mom, you just feel like, this is your responsibility, and it's up to you to do all these things, and this child should be depending on you alone. And I don't know, there's something about, I don't know what happens, but I'm just like, I don't want a housey, I don't want help, I want to be there, I want to cook for my child. And valid. Excuse me. I mean, that's valid if you want to do every single thing for your child, if you want to be there for them every step of the way, very valid. But I'm just here to tell you that mtoto ni wa jamii, and you will never ever be in a position where you are single-handedly handling that child alone, and you don't need anybody, and you're just okay. Accept help. Ask for help. Get help. If you're in a position to get help, like a housey or like a day bug, someone to come and clean for you, and then you just cook for the child. For example, the first few months, say you're not yet back to work, I mean, you don't have a job or something like that. If you just tell yourself that you're going to be waking up every day to take care of that child every step of the way, and to cook for yourself, and to take care of yourself, and to clean the house, and to sort the clothes, you will be drained, you will be exhausted, and you will start taking it out on your child. Me, I'm just saying, get as much help as possible. Do as little as possible. In fact, that's what I say. Do as little as possible, and let it be intentional. Say, I am going to be cooking for my child every day, and I'm going to be changing their diaper every day, or whatever. Be intentional. But don't say, I'm going to be doing every single thing for this child because, whatever, I'm a mom now, and now this is my job, and now this. That is the quickest way to lose yourself and to lose your identity. Get help. Get people to sort you out. Get someone who is like your right hand man. Mwenye utakuwa unajua, ukiwa unaitiwa job interview, unaweza muita akuchungie mtoi. Cause listen, hiyo kitu ya kukua, it's just me. I think nilikaa kwa nyumba 1 year na mtoto. And the separation anxiety, let me tell you, the separation anxiety that child has, even until today, it bites me in the ass. It bites me in the ass until today. Let your child go. let go and let God. And I know that is hard. It's easier said than done, but let your child go. Let her be taken care of by a housey. Of course, pray, do your research, do your due diligence, put your cameras if you need to. Next to your mother if you need to, if you feel safe. As long as your child is safe, as long as your gut is clear, your conscience is clear that your child is safe, kindly get help. Get as much help as you can. Get your independence as early as you can. Get back to yourself as early as you can. Mtoto si wako peke. Your child is not your responsibility. And on this note, even if you have a baby daddy and you're living with your baby daddy, ama you live with your husband, ama you're in a family setup, whatever, ama you have a boyfriend, you don't live together, but the child is his. Kindly understand. And I know it's hard for women. I know it's hard for women, and it's difficult for women to assert themselves, especially when you're that vulnerable. But please always have it at the back of your mind or at the front of your mind. You did not get to this situation on your own. You didn't get to it. Unless somebody has categorically stated, I don't want anything to do with you, na mepotea, na you don't know where they are, na you don't want to follow them, because you can never really force a person to raise their child. If somebody is alive and well and going to work and close to you, I'm living with you and whatever, kindly delegate duties to them. They are the parent just as much as you are. They're supposed to give 100% in parenting, and you're supposed to give 100% in parenting. There are days they will fall short and give 20, 80, 30, 40%. You will give whatever you can give, but kindly delegate. If you're waking up to feed your child at night, feed your child twice, your man will feed the child 2 times. Feed the child today, kesho ni yeye. Change diapers, yeye akupikie. Yeye akupikie, change diapers. Don't take it all on yourself. As in, and men, if you're there and you're a man and you're watching this, don't allow your wife or your woman or your baby mama or whatever to go through that thing, to go through that process, the transition of motherhood into motherhood, and they're alone, figuring it out on their own. They're cleaning the house and they're cooking and they're figuring out breastfeeding, and like their body is fucked and they're in pain and they're emotional and vulnerable, and then you're out there just minding your business. You have no business being anywhere else except work and the house. I'm just saying, the house, helping your wife, and maybe somewhere unwinding 1 hour a day max. I'm just saying, especially the first few months, you're not the only one who participated in this action of leading to the action that led to you being a mom. Please, you didn't do it. You didn't do it on your own. So kindly get help. Ask for help from your partner. Ask for help from your parents, your friends, your family, or whoever you need to help. You need help from. And also join these groups online, these mom groups, these new mom groups. Look for people online who are new moms. Form a WhatsApp group. Talk to each other. You need all that support. Ukiona mtoto ni mgonjwa ama anapitia kitu, ask people. Ask for help. Ask for help, mambo za insurance. Ask. Don't be there suffering alone. You will cry. You will suffer. So yeah, that is the 4th point. My last but not least is, if you're a mom, if you're pregnant, if you're a first-time mom, if this is your first child, if you're clueless, Google is your friend. If there's something that makes me happy in this world, it is just the fact that I am raising a child in this day and age where there's so much information out there. There's so much information at our disposal. You just need to get on your phone, Google what it is that you need, and you'll have all the information you need. Of course, you have to do your research, you have to do your due diligence, but there's also apps. Like there's an app called Baby Center. I downloaded it immediately. I found out about it. I think I was like a few weeks pregnant, and that thing ilinikalisha mpaka I think mtoto akiwa like 3 years. That thing keeps you on track. Every week sends you an email updating you of what you should expect, of what your child is looking like. Okay, for the pregnancy bit, that's important. Today your child is the size of a pea. Tomorrow your child is the size of a watermelon. That's that. But after, you'll also get updates in regards to like feeding, like breastfeeding, weaning, bathing your child, whatever the like milestones you should be expecting in this and this month, how you should be communicating like to your child, whatever signs that you need to look out for in case there's something wrong with their health. Like there's so much information at your disposal right now if you're a mom, that you can not easily, but more easily navigate motherhood, right? And also in regards to now even emotional like aspects of parenting, emotional and mental, psychological aspects of parenting. For example, I'll give a very personal example. Recently, I usually co-parent. And recently, in the month of October, I was very overwhelmed. Actually, September and October, I was overwhelmed with the move and like my child's birthday, and like as in her dad was not around, so I was on with her for like 3-4 weeks, maybe. And I'm used to getting that break every week, like 2-3 day break without her every week. So I feel like because I was with her constantly and I was going through all these things and I was broke and I was doing all these things, I would lash out at her, and I have a tendency to yell. And I know I am not the only one. I struggle with this. I am very combative, right? So sometimes I will yell at her, or I will just damn to her. And we usually have such a back and forth, especially when it comes to feeding times, because she's such a poor feeder. Of course she has improved now that she's older, but like I noticed that the most times, many times that we kosana ni times zenye anakula na times zenye tuna prepare asubuhi akienda shule, because it's like, why are you refusing to brush your teeth? Why are you refusing breakfast? I've woken up earlier than you, have made you breakfast, and then you don't want to eat breakfast. I get so worked up. I don't know if I'm alone. If you're a mom and you're out there, Aki, please just tell me. It really gets to me. So when the dad came back and then they hung out and then she came back, I asked him like how she is, how she's doing and whatever. And then he told me that she told him that I have been shouting at her. If you're a mom, you know that mom guilt is something. Mom guilt is something. He didn't even yell. He didn't even tell me anything. He didn't even tell me whatever. He didn't even say anything. He just said, she just said, you've been yelling. And I was like, okay, sawa. The guilt I was suffering. I was just like, you know what? I can't continue doing this to my child. I don't want my child to hate me because I've been yelling, because I've been losing my cool, you know. You know what I did? I went on a proper research streak. I went online. I was just googling, how do I stop yelling at my child? What can I do to stop yelling at my child? Like, how do I get my child to listen to me without me yelling? And let me tell you the material I got so many. I'll actually link like 2 videos on this page. I'll link 2 videos on the description box, where you can just go if you're struggling with yelling, where the psychologists talking to parents about how to maneuver or navigate motherhood without necessarily yelling at your toddlers, because let me tell you, and your preschoolers, because they're just they can get on your nerves. But my point is, because in this generation we're just really trying to undo the damage, or like to break generational like toxic cycles. The best way to do this is to research, learn every day, strive to do better, strive to be better, figure out ways to, you know, raise your child in a way that's not harmful. Because, you know, you can be oblivious to how you're harming your child just because, you know, you're just operating on a whim. I mean, you're just on autopilot, you don't know what you're doing, you're just, you know, survival mode. Unaenda job, ukona stress, ukona haraka, ukona nini, so you end up lashing out at your child and you just don't know that you're affecting them, like subconsciously and psychologically. So I find that having tools like that, material to watch and listen to, that allow you to learn how to be and do better as a mom, really go a long way. Because I feel like the last 1 week I've done so much better. Like right now, even if she refuses, like asubuhi, you know, mi naamini kukunywa chai, like kukunywa chai ya maziwa, but my child anaamini hot chocolate. I don't know why she wants the brown hot chocolate, maji na skari na hot chocolate. And I find that, you know what, can I control this situation? I don't want to fight about this situation. I don't want us to have a strained relationship because I want her to have milk tea. Please have your hot chocolate. I don't care. I don't shout at you. I want us to be good. And for the last 1 week, it's been nice. Like I've been doing well, and I feel like it's something. So if you've not learned anything from this video, you're not taking anything from this video, please take that. Google is your friend. We can undo all this trauma as long as you're intentional and you're committed to learning and doing better and being a better parent than maybe your parents or whoever it is that you want to be better than. Yeah, Google is your friend, and YouTube and podcasts and all this material and therapy and all that, so that you can heal your inner child that comes out when you're, because I feel like our parents were our models for parenting. So if your parents were a certain way, you find yourself doing some things that are similar to what they were doing, and if you're not conscious of that, you could hurt your child in the way you were hurt, and it's really painful. The guilt might kill you. So just research, Google, and yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you learned something, and I enjoyed making it, and I hope you come back because I have a lot more to share with you guys. So until the next video, toodles, and please remember to subscribe, kindly subscribe. I want to get to 500 subscribers by December. I know that's a long shot, but I know it's possible. So subscribe, share with your friends, and tell them to subscribe, and I will really appreciate that. Also, let me know what you think down in the comments below, and until next time, toodles.